Hey guys, Taylor GammaEdge here coming at you with the post-market recap for September 8th, 2025. Fairly choppy day in the SPX today. Started out with an equal structure. As noted in the pre-market, really respected the transition zones today, and that's really all there was to it. So with that, let's get into how we got those key levels, what the intraday tools were saying, and then we'll look at some swing trades as well. All right, starting out with pre-market prep, always go through our SPX routine, go through our game plan. Normally post this on YouTube Live, just didn't get a chance to do it this morning. Did do an in-depth kind of intraday video though. You can feel free to go watch that. SPXA, SPXP, go through the full complexes, then we get into 0DTE. XPSA, SPXP, full complex, just a good way of kind of a swing trading time frame, globally understanding what's happening in the markets. And then right, for the folks that like to do intraday 0DTE trading, we really hammer that as well. And then once we do this, then we get into our swing trading stuff as well, which is the reason we do SPXA, SPXP. So right, specifically to the 0DT time frame, always starts with our transition zones 6470, 6475. That was our GEX transition zone. To the upside, granted, we were opening near 6500, so focusing kind of on those if-thens above spot price. 6490 was the top of our drunken sailor range. However, there was another kind of significant clustering and distribution at 6500. Makes sense. Key kind of a little more psychological level. So the thought process of what we noted in the pre-market prep is that, something we like to say is when we have two kind of massive pillars next to each other, then it can kind of act as like a marble, just kind of going back and forth, teeter-tottering in here, and really absent any significant buying that would help propel us through that goalpost. Again, really just expect choppy action, kind of through here, really just kind of, in between the top of drunken sailor range and the transition zone. And so, right, so above 6,500, we needed to see kind of a propellant of additional speculation higher up in the structure. We didn't get that today. We will get to that in a second. And right to the downside, it's the same thought process, right? Just identifying those key levels, doing if-then statements around those key levels. And so again, just outlining those key levels for you. So here's 6490, here's 6500. Again, those were those two key pillars based off the distribution of speculation in the structure that we saw in the pre-market. And then we have the top of the GEX transition zone here at 6475. And so, yeah, I mean, not a ton to say here today. I mean, really just respected kind of these two key pillars we were talking about. Marble just going in between those. If you're into VWAP kind of stuff, kind of just hug the VWAP throughout the day, flat moving averages, all that good stuff. So, with those levels, right, we're looking at intraday activity as well to kind of tip our hand if we're getting a chop, getting a side higher or lower speculation day. First off, market trend model built off the tick index. Looking at the cumulative tick right, fairly flat on the day, still on a swing trading basis, still bullish as we're trending to the upside. Railroad tracks moving to the upside. Not a ton of filter tick buying on an intraday basis, but on a swing trading time frame, everything still looks good. Saw a little bit of, burst of activity into the close today, so we want to see that continue into tomorrow. Ideally, probably involves taking out 6,500 and holding that. But we also look for on an intraday basis that's super important to our process is SPX 0DT volume, specifically call volume green, put volume red. What we do is a 5-minute basis. We aggregate the volume on the SPX 0DT. We find the distribution right, generally looks like that, just a little bell curve, find the middle point of it, which is called a centroid, and we plot that. So we plot that throughout the session, we connect the dots for you. So at any point in time between the open and whenever, noon, we can understand what those centroids are doing, the trend of the centroids, which is a representation of speculator behavior, right? And so that can either be, trending lower, trending sideways like it was today, or trending higher. By understanding that, right, we can understand A, what's kind of price action doing, and B, assuming all things equal, if they behave like they have been behaving, where are those centroids likely going to go throughout the rest of the session? That's the line of best fit, which is the dash line. And then from there, right, very informative for trading throughout the rest of the day. If we kind of have an understanding if, likely going to be a chop day, or we're going to keep trending higher or trending lower. And there should be confluence between this and the market trend model as well. So today clearly was a chop day. And yes, I know this is hindsight, but right, with football season starting, all those teams that played on Sunday, they're watching game tape today, watching it tomorrow. So why would we not be watching game tape as well, looking for those pattern recognition on how we can get better, coming the rest of the week of trading. But anyways, so just showing you as an example what this looks like. So here's an intraday basis from 1225. So here are the centroids trending lower throughout the session, puts trending higher, such as very choppy price action, which is what these lines of best fit are indicating. And really not suggesting that we're getting much buying above 6,500. Generally we want to see the calls expanding higher, puts expanding higher, market trend model ramping higher as well. Clearly didn't get that today. So that's kind of the utility of this tool. Coupling that with our level analysis. So, break a key level, seeing confluence of volume pushing that way, market trend model pushing that way. It's very simple. And that's kind of what the basis of our trading plan is. And then from there, if you want to be selling premium, doing butterflies, scalping futures, whatever, this is not just specific to options. Although we do leverage, what's happening in the options markets to inform our trading decisions. And then from there, execute however you want to. So moving off of 0DT, when it comes to swing trading, we have a couple different things we do at GammaEdge. First off, we have our P-Trans plus GEX strategy. That's 100% mechanical. You know the night before what you're doing the next day. All those signals are given to you, right? Like we've posted them tonight. Entries are Boeing, Comcast, and Microsoft, and then exiting those positions if you have them on. Here's a live portfolio we've been running since July of 2023. Mirrors the back testing very well. High win rate strategy, right? About 72%, 73% win rate over 334 trades. Losers slightly bigger than winners, but again, that's where that win rate comes in, which is probably a positive expectancy. And then those stats broadly hold true for year-to-date 2025 as well. Backing up for a second, if you're new to GammaEdge, just stumbling upon us, GammaEdge.us, free courses, GammaEdge FastPass, this is what you need. It's everything our paid members get. It teaches you the methodology, teaches you frameworks, trading strategies, how to use the tools, all that good stuff, free to you. So hopefully you find some value out of this. I know, we're using a lot of kind of unique terms, but it's all explained in here. So by watching these videos, going through the FastPass, and then kind of to osmosis, some of this stuff should be making sense to you. And if it's not, then you know where to find us to ask questions. So getting back to this, after the P2P, we're also running something called the wheel strategy. If you know what the wheel strategy is, it's just a common kind of option strategy, right? Selling puts below. Maybe you get assigned. If you do, then, dealing with that. But the idea here is that we're finding strong stocks trending to the upside. So we're using just simple kind of momentum principles like the Minervini trend template. Then we're layering on the GammaEdge flare, which is, options market dynamics, finding those call dominated structures that are, a foundation that is on bullish principles in our point of view that are likely to move higher. So we have a whole channel of that. We post what the kind of universe of stocks are for that as well. Good dialogue. We're looking to automate that here over the next quarter. And then we also do a swing trading game plan. Something that I do, right? I publish a couple lists in the morning. One's a bull list, one's a bear list. Very simple. Bull list, $100 billion market cap. Reason I do that is because I just don't want those meme stocks, like a gap up or down 10, 20%, rather just largest liquid names in the market. Above 21 EMA. This is a simple moving average people pay attention to. And then layering on top of that, call dominated structures. That's the bull list. Then the bear list is just vice versa, put dominated below 21 EMA, all that good stuff. And, stocks that are either good short candidates or stocks you at least just want to stay away from. And so, just understanding what stocks are populating these lists, or the list getting longer or shorter, kind of a market indicator in itself as well. And then, simply what you can do, you can take that that list, pop it into TradingView, and then, you can, like here it is here, then you can just rifle through it really quick, overlay our script on it. You can just get a good idea, like something that I do, right? I'm just looking for it to break prior day high, looking for it to be above P-Trans, and that's generally a good enough entry for me. So for example, Citibank, like I entered on this day right here. Why? Because putting kind of higher low right here, we broke above prior day high. So what is moving higher should continue to move higher. And if it doesn't, then that is good information that our thesis could be broken. It was a P-Trans at that time, and it just continues to move higher as well. So you can see, today it held P-Trans. So I continue to stay in the position. I'm just waiting for the premium to melt away, likely tomorrow, assuming just a flat open, maybe slightly up, slightly down, should be able to get out of that for a profit. Same thought for United Healthcare, right? Got in around, I think it was last week, this day, maybe right here. Just continue to ride it higher. No surprise, it kind of capped out today at plus GEX, continues to hold P-Trans as well. So it's kind of just a textbook level to level move. Again, waiting for premium to burn on that name. Went a little bit further out in expiration, so it's taking a little bit longer to come in, but that's fine. And then we have Intel as well. Got in on this, hold on. Got in on, why is that not working? got in on this day right here, third time's the charm. And so yeah, it's looking fine. It's holding P-Trans plus GEX at 25. Could be looking for an additional entry tomorrow. Nice consolidation the last couple days. Maybe look for a break above prior day high, potentially move higher. Some other names I was looking at, Meta, just no follow through intraday, did not end up entering this position. The reason being is, it really saw the strength on kind of the initial push, and intraday just continued to sell off. Next was Walmart. Walmart was a great name, great entry, right? It held COTMP. Unfortunately, the options I couldn't get an entry in there. And then that's kind of all that I was interested in looking at today. But you can see there's a whole host of names on the list right now: Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Google. I mean, some of these names are extended from my point of view, but that doesn't mean that you may not be able to find a way into the stocks. So with that, we've gone over SPX 0DT, how to find the levels, how to use the intraday tools. Then we've also gone over kind of our philosophy on swing trading, not only kind of globally how to get an understanding if it's good swing trading environment or not, and that's through understanding SPX-A, SPX-P full complex, and call versus put dominated, where those kind of key transition zone are at. Are we above or below that? What the market trend model is doing on kind of a swing trading time frame, and then how we really distill it down into those out of the thousands of stocks, how we can get just a refined list of 5, 10, 15 names that may be appealing to trade. So with that, appreciate the time tonight, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.